Mark that date, because on that day, or possibly July 3rd, the two most famous people on the planet are going to stand in front of their closest friends, look each other in the eyes, and change everything. A pop star who has sold over 200 million records, a football legend with 3 Super Bowl rings, and a love story that has broken the internet, dominated every headline, and turned a whole generation of NFL fans into Swifties. But here's the thing nobody's talking about. This wedding? It is not what you think it is. There are secret NDAs. A bride who got paid out. A wedding dress inspired by one of Hollywood's most iconic women. A guest list that reads like the who's who of the entire entertainment industry. And a level of secrecy so tight, even Taylor's own father-in-law doesn't know the details. In this video, we are breaking down everything. The venue, the date, the guest list, the drama, the dress, the ring, the proposal, and the question everyone is asking right now. Are they already married? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know more about this wedding than most of the people who are actually invited. Let's get into it. To understand why this wedding is such a massive deal, we need to go back to where it all began. It was the summer of 2023 when Travis Kelce, 3-time Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs tight end, and let's be honest, the most charismatic man in professional football, made a move that nobody saw coming. He went to one of Taylor Swift's era's tour shows at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, and he wanted to give her a friendship bracelet, but with his phone number on it. Classic Travis. But he didn't get to meet her that night. He went back to his podcast, New Heights, co-hosted with his brother Jason, and talked about it publicly. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, I try to give Taylor a friendship bracelet with my number on it. She doesn't talk before shows. He was essentially shooting his shot on a podcast listened to by millions of people. And it worked. What followed was one of the most documented, most photographed, most talked about celebrity romances in modern history. Taylor started attending Chiefs games. The internet exploded every single time she sat next to Brittany Mahomes in that VIP box. Swifties became football fans overnight. NFL ratings skyrocketed. Brands went crazy. And then, after 2 years of dating, Travis Kelce made it official. According to reports, Travis popped the question in August 2025, right after recording an episode of the New Heights podcast. The proposal was kept secret for weeks before the couple announced it on Instagram. And Taylor's caption? Absolutely iconic. She wrote, "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married." The post was liked over 37 million times. 37 million. Let that sink in. That is more likes than most countries have internet users. And Travis? He told his podcast listeners he was still giddy about it. He said, "I still get giddy. Exciting times. It's been really fun telling everybody who I'm going to be spending the rest of my life with." The ring itself? A 10-carat diamond worth approximately $1 million. And sources say Taylor has not stopped showing it off. Honestly, good for her. Okay, so now we're engaged. Now comes the wedding planning. And this is where things get really interesting. There have actually been 2 different dates swirling around in the media, and both of them tell you something fascinating about who Taylor Swift is. The first date, June 13th, 2026. Now, if you know anything about Taylor Swift, and let's be honest, if you're watching this video, you definitely do. You know that the number 13 is basically sacred to her. She was born on December 13th. She's talked about it for years. She's written it on her hand before performances. She said, quote, "Whenever a 13 comes up in my life, it's a good thing." So June 13th, her half-birthday, will be very on brand for Taylor Swift. Multiple sources, including Page 6, confirmed this date months ago. And a wedding planner from Rhode Island even went on record saying local vendors have been buzzing about a high-profile wedding in the area on that exact date. But then, more recent reports from Page 6 suggest the couple may have sent out save the dates for a new date, July 3rd, 2026. Why July 3rd? Because the day after, July 4th, is America's Independence Day. And not just any Independence Day. 2026 marks the 250th anniversary of American independence. And anyone who knows Taylor Swift knows that the 4th of July is one of her favorite holidays. She used to throw enormous annual parties at this very same Rhode Island property. So whether it's June 13th or July 3rd, both dates are deeply, intentionally, classically Taylor. Now, the venue. Sources have pointed to two locations, and they're basically next door to each other. The first is Taylor's own $17.5 million oceanfront mansion in Watch Hill, Westerly, Rhode Island. She bought this property years ago, and it's been the setting for some of her most legendary 4th of July parties, back when her squad was at its peak. The second option is Ocean House, an absolutely stunning luxury hotel just yards away from her mansion, right on the Rhode Island coast. It's the kind of venue that looks like it was designed specifically for a wedding this big. White painted, grand, timeless, right on the ocean. Even the governor of Rhode Island got in on the excitement. When the engagement was announced, he reposted the couple's Instagram photo and wrote, "Rhode Island has some of the best wedding venues in the world." Just saying. The governor of a state sliding into Taylor Swift's mentions. We are truly living in an extraordinary time. But here's the detail that nobody can stop talking about. Taylor Swift found out that another couple had already booked the Ocean House venue for June 13th. So what did she do? She reportedly paid them out. She made them an offer they literally could not refuse. According to Page 6, she covered their entire wedding and honeymoon, just to have the venue for her own big day. I mean, is that wild? Or is that actually the most Taylor Swift thing you've ever heard? The woman has a billion-dollar net worth. She wanted that date. She got that date. And honestly, that couple probably ended up with the most unbelievable wedding story of all time. Yeah, Taylor Swift paid for our wedding. That beats literally every other wedding story in history. Now let's talk about something that has become just as much of a storyline as the wedding itself. The insane level of secrecy surrounding this entire event. Here's what we know. Every single guest who RSVP'd has reportedly signed a non-disclosure agreement, a full legal NDA. You cannot talk about what you see, who was there, what happened. Nothing. A source close to the couple told the media that Taylor's model for this wedding is Ed Sheeran's 2018 wedding to Cherry Seaborn. The source said, and I love this quote, "To this day, no one knows exactly who attended Ed Sheeran's wedding." And that's the model for this one. Total secrecy. Total secrecy. Think about what that means. We're talking about a wedding with reportedly over 300 guests, some of the most famous, most recognizable faces on the planet. And the plan is to keep it completely under wraps. Now here's where it gets extra dramatic. Travis Kelce's own father, Ed Kelce, has apparently been kept out of the loop on the details. Sources told the Daily Mail in May 2026 that Taylor has withheld specifics from her future father-in-law because, in the words of an insider, he can't be trusted to keep a secret. The source called him a loose cannon. Said nobody knows what he's going to say. And look, Ed Kelce is a lovable guy. Travis and Jason's dad is charming, funny, and he clearly loves his sons. But if Taylor Swift says the NDA extends to family members, the NDA extends to family members. Meanwhile, Jack Antonoff, one of Taylor's closest collaborators, the guy who's produced some of her biggest albums, was on the Today Show in May and was asked if he was attending any big weddings this summer. His response? I hope. Yeah, I hope so, man. When they pushed him on the venue, he laughed and said, "Oh, no. That is a man who has been briefed on the NDA and is terrified of violating it live on national television." And then there's Ed Sheeran himself. Earlier reports said Taylor had invited Sheeran and even wanted him to potentially perform. But in an interview, Sheeran revealed he had not yet received a formal invitation. He said he found out about the engagement on Instagram, just like the rest of us. Whether that's changed since then, we don't know. But based on the most recent guest list reports, Sheeran and his wife Cherry Seaborn are expected to attend. The whole energy of this wedding is, the world wants to watch, and Taylor Swift is going to make sure they can't. Okay, can we talk about the dress? Because even the limited details we have about Taylor Swift's wedding gown have already sent the fashion world into a complete spiral. Here's what we know. According to a source who spoke to Us Weekly, Taylor has already said yes to a dress. and it is currently in the final stages of tailoring. The source did not reveal the designer or the style. But then, a separate source told the Daily Mail something that made every fashion editor on Earth sit up in their chair. Taylor Swift's wedding gown is reportedly inspired by Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor. The Elizabeth Taylor. One of the most beautiful, most glamorous, most iconic women in the history of Hollywood. A woman so luminous, she literally changed the beauty standards of an entire generation. And here's why that detail hits even harder. Taylor Swift recently paid tribute to Elizabeth Taylor in a song on her latest album, The Life of a Showgirl. She literally named a song after her. So this isn't just a fashion choice. It's a piece of storytelling, a continuation of the artistic narrative she's been building. What does an Elizabeth Taylor-inspired wedding dress look like? We don't know exactly, but Elizabeth Taylor was known for form-fitting silhouettes, luxurious fabrics, and an almost regal elegance. If Taylor Swift's gown channels even a fraction of that energy, we are in for something absolutely spectacular. Taylor has also been spotted recently in what fashion writers are calling bridal-coated outfits, white silk skirts, delicate jewelry, updo hairstyles. It's like she's been slowly giving us visual hints without ever showing her hand.